Philippines, April 2015. It's a skyline of Rojas Boulevard, and we're joining a tour this morning. Whoop, just stepped off me. As Richard, to go and see Corrigedore Island, and we're dining out big style on cup noodles. And after 1.5 hour trip, here we are on Corrigedore Island, as vacated by General MacArthur in 1942, I think. And there's Richard. And we're going to take this tram.
That's number 5.
And there's Mariveles across there. Next time we could come from there. It's a bit quicker, I think.
You will end up in Subic Bay. And we're not going to Subic Bay, otherwise the captain got lost. And this captain never gets lost. He's the 5th best captain in the Philippines. For another 4,000 of the 91st Philippine Scout Coast Artillery Regiment. Maximum accommodation is 8,000. Constructed by the Americans in 1915, 100 years ago.
This is our first stop on the tour at Battery Way, completed in 1913. And there's a bunch of 12-inch guns here inside. And we're following the guide here. He's very good, actually. Orlando.
Was already here during the war, maybe 30 years old then. Just 70.
And just get a quicker, close look at these guns before the crowd comes. And the guide has mentioned that the breech blocks were removed by General Wainwright before they surrendered to the Japanese, so the Japanese couldn't use them.
3 hours and 34 men to man the gun. And behind it, the firing pin or breech block has been reinstalled. Clear indication of repair. Repaired by the Japanese after the surrender with the help of 200 American prisoners of war. We don't have evidence the Japanese were able to fire their way deeper into the steel barrel. Military doctors said that stuff, it burns underwater and...
Battery Hearn, a 12-inch gun, could fire a 1,000-pound shell 17 miles, and there's a spare barrel here lying. This is Battery Grubs. They have 2 what they call disappearing guns in here, which fire and then sort of go down on a carriage. So we'll have a look a little bit better. And that's a disappearing gun, but the barrel is off the carriage because before the Japanese came, they loaded with a blank and fired it with the bolts missing, so the Japanese couldn't use it. And that would rise up and fire over the wall here. That's the second gun emplacement. And here's the view out to sea, and that's the Bataan Peninsula. If we could swim across there and then walk north, we'd come to our house. Interesting, I've seen it before, this steel reinforcing bar, although it's decades old, since 1940s, it's still not in bad condition, except at the top there where it's just thinned a bit. But considering it's near the sea, that's quite amazing. Anyway, back to the bus. There's Richard again.
To the building, that will be an orange marker in front, 2nd floor. That's the insignia of the 5th Life Regiment that was here, yung orange. Now across to the right side, we have topside main parade grounds, became drop zone for the...
As the tour guide said, this is the mile-long barracks. Housed 8,000 American soldiers before the Japanese took the island. And behind the bus is a parade ground. And somewhat ironically, as I saw many years ago in Manila, Japanese tour groups come to admire their guns and handiwork. And we just climbed up the lighthouse. Quite a hike, and you get a nice view all the way around. and it's quite a hike, built by the Spanish and refurbed by Americans. And there's a view back across to Bataan Peninsula. That is where the Japanese advanced down to this island.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay. And this is a disappearing gun that is still intact on its carriage.
60 tons down below. 60 tons of counterbalance down below. Upstairs next.
Wow. And that's another view. This is bomb damage, and you can see the exposed reinforcing bar. See how much steel was in there. Wow. Go through here. All this blasted away by bombs. And we're going to board the bus again. This is Lorcha Dock, MacArthur's departure point for Australia. And there is a larger than life size statue of the gentleman himself. And we're going to go for lunch after this. Now it's lunchtime. This is a very nice period sort of hotel, which we did plan to stay the night at, but unfortunately we couldn't get a room with 2 singles. And there's a view looking back across the mountains in Mariveles. This is a Japanese memorial, and these are Japanese anti-aircraft guns. Not in their original position apparently. And that's looking across to Corrigedore Island. Caballo means horse. And then across to Cavite. This is the Manila tunnel we've just arrived at, which we're going to do a little light and sound tour apparently. This is the map of it. And this is where MacArthur had his headquarters, and they had an underground hospital, all sorts of stuff. And some of the tunnels are still not cleared after they were collapsed in the war, and the Japanese committed mass suicide there. And we're entering the tunnel now. Obviously been repaired quite a lot since war days. And you can see the other end.
To receive the president in a macro in Manila.
Mr. President, please accept our apologies for not being able to give you and your family more comfortable quarters.
We have messed up, General. We have to make the best of the situation.
Sorry, sir. You'll have to remain outside.
My friend, they're bringing in. He needs me.
I'm sorry. Please stay outside.
Hey, nurse, what about us? This man's badly wounded.
You'll have to wait.
Help, this man's dying.
Please understand, we don't have enough doctors for all the wounded.
When mercifully the all-clear siren was sounded. They control land, sea, and air operations. And still, no help was coming from the beleaguered American forces. And we arrived off course. We were followed by the 462nd Parachute Field Artillery Battalions with their 75mm black officers.
That's the end of the show. Philippines flag flying, and these some of the empty tunnels, still with various degrees of collapse in some of them. And out into the sunlight again to catch the bus. As I thought, there is the actual name above the tunnel. I must have come to this entrance first last time. Has Richard enjoying himself?
Moron.